guys, we can joke about it. It's fine. He acted alone. It's good news. Epstein acted, all the people that he knew and all the, we don't know where his money came from. It doesn't matter. He acted alone and he himself. It's good news. All the movies you can watch without guilt now. No, it's funny to me because when I was raised, everyone was like, dude, the government is so good at lying. And now I'm like, no, they're not, dude. Like, that's, to me, I'm not surprised they're covering for all that. I just thought they'd be good at lying, dude. I thought that was their job.
Comedian Joe Avery has a hilarious bit on.
I call it the Epstein hoax. It takes a lot of time and effort. Instead of talking about the great achievements we've had, a great gentleman yesterday, as you know, went on CNBC and he made the statement that Trump may go down as the greatest president of all in the United States. And instead of talking about the things we've achieved, we've had tremendous achievement. They're wasting their time with a guy who obviously had some very serious problems, who died 3-4 years ago. I'd rather talk about the success we have with the economy, the best we've ever had, and all of the things we've done, including the Middle East. I mean, you see it. Instead, they want to talk about the Epstein hoax. And the sad part is it's people that are really doing the Democrats' work. They're stupid people.
The scandal that will not go away, nor should it.
Can you clarify which part of the Epstein hoax is the hoax part?
The president is referring to the fact that Democrats have now seized on this as if they ever wanted transparency when it comes to Jeffrey Epstein, which is an asinine suggestion for any Democrat to make. The Democrats had control of this building, the White House, for 4 years, and they didn't do a dang thing when it came to transparency in regards to Jeffrey Epstein and his heinous crimes. It was this president who directed the Department of Justice and the Attorney General to do an exhaustive review of all files related to Jeffrey Epstein, which they did. The Attorney General and the FBI, led by Pam Bondi, Dan Bongino, Kash Patel, these are great patriots, some of the most trusted voices in the Republican Party movement. It's part of the reason the president appointed them to these high law enforcement positions, and they spent many months going through all of the files related to Jeffrey Epstein, and they concluded what they found in that memo, which they drafted and they released. And so the president has been transparent. He has followed through on his promises to the American people.
A hell of a spin from a well-paid propagandist.
I'll tell you a story. I love my mom. We get along well. One of the things she taught me early on was how to lie. She doesn't know that, all right? Like, she would come home every day and she'd ask me if I'd done my chores. She'd be like, did you walk the dog? You know, and I'd be like, yeah, I've been walking the dog all day. And then she'd be like, oh yeah? And I'd be like, yeah. She'd be like, you're lying. And I'd be like, you don't tell me I'm lying. And she'd be like, then why is the leash in the same place? And I'd be like, and then she'd come home. She'd be like, did you walk the dog? I'd be like, I've been walking the dog all day. And I would have moved the leash from here to here. And she'd be like, well done. Our household had peace and harmony. She thought she was being a good parent, getting me to do things, and I was being a piece of shit. She didn't have to know that, so it worked. And that's my problem, dude. The government isn't even moving the leash anymore, dude. Like, to move the leash. If you're gonna run a global ring, move the leash.
I mean, he's not wrong, especially when
the Democrats, you know, they have bad policy, they have bad candidates, they have bad everything, but they stick together. The Republicans don't do that, but they ought to look into the Jeffrey Epstein hoax too, because that's another hoax that's frankly put out by the pushing the Republicans and put out by the Democrats. I can imagine what they put into files, just like they did with the others. I mean, the Steele dossier was a total fake.
Right.
It took 2 years to figure that out for the people. And all of the things that you mentioned were fake. Yeah. So I would imagine if they were run by Chris Wray and they were run by Comey, and because it was actually even before that administration, they've been running these files. And so much of the things that we found were fake with me. But especially, you look at that Steele dossier.
This dude just cannot outrun a story that has simply broken through.
I think the fact that they had it at an island, for me, I'm already out. Not a tiki bar guy? Well, I get sunburn. My name is Dan Carney.
And I'm Joey Avery,
And we're with the FBI.
doing the Epstein case.
There's been a lot of speculation of, is there a list? Is there not a list?
There's no lists.
There you go. Bye-bye.
You know, stories are fun, but reality is just kind of boring.
My childhood heroes. May their names never be revealed. List. It's one of those things where you say it a bunch of times and it stops losing.
What are you, my wife? List, to-do list, grocery list. Ugh.
If I had a wife, I would totally understand the reference. But
Avery on his YouTube and TikTok would have more fun with the Trump administration's handling of the case.
Yeah, you know Epstein's innocent,
Bro. That's the funniest development. Like, we are going to unveil the truth once and for all. Turns out the guy was just a
regular guy
struggling in the world just like all of us. Yeah, that was some bull. Also, innocent of what? He was literally a guilty pedophile. He was busted, and they sealed the records the first time.
Wasn't it like 1,000 women?
I mean, now it just sounds like you're bragging on his behalf.
Well, that's what I was going for. I was like, if he was a one-man operator, I mean, at some point you gotta go, this guy.
Will Chamberlain,
tip your hat.
Jeffrey Epstein.
You gotta tip your hat at some point. You go, God damn, you got a lot.
Yeah, but he was also playing in the minor leagues.
He wasn't in the minor leagues. Those are AAA. He was playing on the Harrisburg Senators.
Yeah, it'd be, imagine if you just owned a booth in the mall being like, you want to be a model? You could pull Epstein.
Would you like to meet Stephen Hawking?
And on that front with Shane Gillis,
Donald Trump wants to stage a UFC fight on the White House lawn. The last time he staged a fight in D.C., Mike Pence almost died. You don't have to do that. That's fine. I didn't write it. Actually, there was supposed to be an Epstein joke here, but as it got deleted. Must have probably deleted itself, right? Probably never existed, actually. Let's move on as a country and ignore that.
he even ripped into Donald Trump, Pam Bondi, and the Trump admin as a whole for their handling of this. In conclusion, there is a reason why MAGA is so ticked and also so invested. It's because the same people that it appears are trying to cover this up were the ones saying that they would be the truth tellers in it all. Not only did you lure these folks in, but then you threw the carrot down the rabbit hole, and now you're expecting them to just get out on their own without you throwing the ladder. It's insane to me. You guys are the ones that pushed the Schmooanon conspiracy theory, which is a big bowl of nothing. You were the ones that practically changed the way that these folks look at the world. And now that you had your base, you're telling them, got your nose, and they're not playing. They want to know what happened as much as we do. When really, if you've been able to see through this for years now, you know what's happening. This whole Wall Street Journal article, if you have seen the light already, were you surprised? You might be surprised with the alleged signature above pubic hair, but were you really surprised that they were still writing letters about a big secret? And come on. How gullible do you think your base is? Clearly they thought they were super gullible, that they could just skate on by past this, because they're not. And also, Trump appointing a special counselor is like Roger Goodell appointing a special counselor to go after and look into and investigate workplace discrimination and culture, and then also keeping it completely under wraps where we still don't know what the findings are. That's what this is. Birds of a feather, I suppose. Hey, I appreciate you watching. Now, if you can, please do become a channel member by going to youtube.com/TYT Sports and clicking the join button. If that's too much for you, you can just go to tyt.com/join to become a member. It helps all of us out here at the Young Turks and keeps our network afloat. In addition, you could follow me on my socials on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate the love. Have a great day.